Today's experiment is that is the Michelson-Morley experiment. The aim of this experiment is to determine the relative motion between the Earth and the ether. A beam of light from monochromatic source S falls on a half silvered glass plate placed at an angle 45 degree to the incident beam. The incident beam is split up into two parts by the glass plate, that is the P. The reflected beam is travels towards the mirror, that is M1. Once again it is reflected back and they transmitted through the glass plate P, and finally it enter into the telescope T. And another part of light is that is reflected. Another part is transmitted light. It travels along the direction PA. Okay, once again it is reflected back from that is mirror M2, and the reflected at the back surface of that is P, finally it enter into the telescope, that is the T. Here the two reflected beams, one from the mirror M1 and another from the mirror M2, they will be interfere, and interference fringes will be observed through the telescope, that is the T. The both the mirrors M1 and M2, which are at the same distance from the glass plate P, the reflected light, it travels through the glass plate, that is thrice, but the transmitted light, it passes through only once. That the effective distance can be made same by introducing one glass plate which is not placed here. The theory: one arm PA is pointed in the direction of the Earth's motion round the Sun, and other PB is pointed perpendicular to this motion. The path of the two beams and the position of the reflections from M1 and M2 will be as shown by the dotted line. Assume that the velocity of the apparatus relative to the fixed ether is, that is V, in the direction of that is PA, and C is the velocity of light. The relative velocity of the light ray traveling along the direction PA is, that is C minus V, while its value would be, that is C plus V for the return journey. Let here, that is PA is equal to PB is equal to D, means it is the effective distance of the two mirror from the glass plate P. The time taken by the light to travel from P to A, here this is equal to distance by velocity. This is relative velocity along the direction of motion, D divided by C minus V, and time taken by the light to travel from A to B is equal to D divided by, that is C plus V. Total time taken by the light to travel from P to A and back to P is given by total time T is equal to D divided by C minus V plus D divided by C plus V is equal to D into C plus V plus D into C minus V divided by C square minus V square. And after simplification, we are going to get this term, and this is in the denominator. If you take the numerator, we are going to get the term like this. Here C is taken outside the bracket. Okay, right. By using binomial theorem, and this expression can be written as, that is T is equal to 2D by, that is C, into, that is 1 plus the V square by, that is C square. This is equation 1. Now consider the ray moving upwards from P to B. It will strike the mirror M1 not at B but at B dash due to the motion of the earth. If T1 is the time taken by the ray starting from P to reach M1, and PB dash equal to, that is CT1, and BB dash is equal to VT1. The total path of the ray until it return to P is equal to, that is PB dash P dash. Now we can write PB dash P dash is equal to PB dash plus, that is PB dash P dash. This is equal to, that is to PB dash, since PB dash is equal to P dash B dash. Then here PB dash square is equal to, means the right angle triangle. PB dash square is equal to PC square plus CB dash square is equal to, here BB dash, here the same expression here, that is the b dash whole square plus that is the pb whole square. Then we are substituted for that expression here, that is c square t1 square is equal to v square t1 square plus d square, and here t1 is taken outside the bracket, t1 square is equal to, that is c square minus v square is equal to d square, or the t1 is equal to d divided by c square minus v square to the power of, that is 1 by 2. The total time taken by the light, that is taken by the ray to travel the whole path, that is pb dash, we can write the t dash equal to 2t1. Okay, this is equal to, that is 2d divided by c square minus v square into 1 by t. Yeah, you are substituted for, that is t1 from the equation 1, and the after simplification we are getting this term, and you take this is to, that is numerator, and we are going to get this expression. And once again, by using binomial expression, we can write the expression, that is t dash equal to, that is 2d by c into, that is 1 plus v square by 2c square. This is equation 2, that is. Now the from equation 1 and 2, it is clear that here the t is greater than, that is t dash, both are not same. The time difference in between, it becomes, that is delta t is equal to t minus t dash, and substituting for t and t dash, and after simplification we are going to get the term, the difference in time, delta t is equal to 2d dv square by, that is c square. This is the difference in time. The distance traveled by the light in a time dt is given by, means distance is equal to velocity into time. Okay, right, c into, that is delta t is equal to this expression we are substituted, and we are going to get a dv square by, that is c square. This is the path difference between the two parts of the incident beam, and it shows the shift in the fringes. If the entire apparatus is rotated through 90 degree, the path difference between the two becomes, that is 2d v square divided by c square. The expected a fringe shift of about, that is 0.4 in their apparatus when it was rotated through 90 degree. But in the experiment, no shift of the fringe was observed. They repeated the experiment at different times of the day and different seasons of the year in different parts of the world, but the same null result was obtained. This negative result suggests that it is impossible to measure the speed of the earth relative to the ether. Therefore, the effect of the ether as a fixed frame of reference is failed.